What is going on, guys? I have not posted a YouTube video in quite a long time. I feel like this is big enough to make a return temporarily and just see how things go. And the reason this being the case is Rafael Devers just got traded to the the San Francisco Giants for 4 players, 2 major league players, and 2 prospects. We're about 3 hours into this deal, and I have no idea how to feel because of both sides. So, here's what's going on. Rafael Devers got traded to the New York Giants, the San Francisco Giants, and I'm thinking about the football season, for a starting pitcher in Jordan Hicks, who has about a 7.8 ERA this season, who I think will be heading back to the bullpen because he was originally a reliever before signing with the Giants and going to the starting rotation, which that hasn't gone well for him at all. Kyle Harrison, who is very young, I think he's 22 years old. He's pretty solid. I think he's solid. He's had an up and down career so far. But again, he's 22 years old. He went down to AAA once this trade was been made official. All right, he's going to Worcester. I don't think I'm going to freak out about that one specifically because I think Harrison is too good to just... he's just way too good to just sit there in the minor league system just waiting. I think he will get called up eventually, and once he does get called up to the Red Sox, he's going to stick. Because he just seems like that kind of guy. I think Andrew Bailey will fix him real quick, because I think he had some work with Andrew Bailey before he came to the Red Sox. I think when he first got called up, Andrew Bailey was the pitching coach for the Giants, and he actually had a pretty good start. So yeah, Jordan Hicks, Kyle Harrison. Again, I'm still trying to process all this. Brito the third. Okay, he is the number 4 prospect in the Giants organization. Okay, some fans are mad we didn't get Bryce Eldridge, and I would be in that sentiment of that as well. I think we should have gotten Bryce Eldridge for this, but maybe the Giants weren't biting on that because I think he does have the potential to be a big time deal. But my counter to that would be if Rafael Devers is gonna play first base and be their first baseman, then why have Eldridge in the first place? So that's my confusion. But Brito the third, he is the number 4 prospect on the Giants organization. He is a first baseman and outfielder. He was a first-round pick last year, 13th overall out of Florida State. So, and he's bouncing up and down between AA and AAA, which still isn't that bad of a development. So, I think that could be a solid pickup eventually. I do think that acquisition gives me the thought that Tristan Casas is going to be gone at some point. I don't know if it's going to be this year or hell, even next year. But I think it's pretty adamant to me that Tristan Casas is going to be gone. And Joey Bayo, he is a rookie relief pitcher. He's in rookie ball. I don't know if there's going to be much out of that. I haven't done my homework on him just yet. So I'm going to look into it at some point. It's just like he's in rookie ball right now. I'm not going to put much stock into it. But the biggest win out of all of this, in my opinion, the Red Sox saved a lot out of this. They the Giants are taking every single penny of Devers's, I think, 10 years left, about $300 million. Every single penny the Giants are paying for, and I think that's the biggest win, because if you were going to trade a guy like Rafael Devers, you would have to make sure that that team takes on the entire contract. So that opens up Boston to do so many things going down the line. I'm trying to be as positive as I can. I'm not exactly full thought into this. I'm just kind of going out on a whim, as I usually did with my old YouTube videos. I would just go out and my instant reactions and all that. But this is... the reason why I'm so conflicted with this one is because of Devers' attitude recently. You know, for those who are unaware, so in spring training, after the Red Sox signed Alex Bregman, they wanted him to be the DH. And Devers said no to that, and he said no to being a first baseman. But he eventually relented and he became a DH. Then Tristan Casas got hurt. They asked him to play first base. He said no, which was a situation of, you asked me to put the glove down, now you want me to put the glove back up again. So, yeah, so that all that happened, and from Jared Carrabis, I was actually just watching on MLB's YouTube channel, who was reacting. Jared Carrabis just went on to MLB Network and said, well, after Bregman went down, the Red Sox were afraid to approach Rafael Devers about asking him to play third. So what does that make you think about how Devers has been when it comes to being asked to do something else? I mean, doesn't it seem as if I feel like Devers has been very selfish in this scenario. I think as a star player, you need to do what's best for the team. That makes total sense. So I think being third base, DH, first base, I think that is something that Devers should have done. I think he should have just been a team player in that aspect. And there are other rumors that, and these are not confirmed at all, that Devers asked for a trade. And if that's the case, then usually my opinion, when it comes to players who play in Boston and want out, I'm okay, pack your stuff, or pack your shit, and sayonara. So, if that's the case, then okay, sayonara, I don't want you here. But if this came out of left field for Devers too, how do you think that's going to look on the franchise going forward? So I kind of get it from both sides. Like, you asked me to do this, and now you're asking me to do something else when you promised me that this is going to happen, and you went out of your word twice. So I get it in that perspective as far as Devers, but management-wise, I also get it, because if your guy is not willing to play ball, and he's becoming a distraction to the locker room, and you're trying to build a team, a culture where you're trying to make a playoffs, you're trying to play team ball, everybody has to have some sort of flexibility for you, and you're not playing ball, I get it in that perspective. If it was big enough to where it has become a big distraction, then I think you had to unload it. I do think it was too soon. I think you did it too quickly. Because I think this was a situation where you could have said, hey, we're going to trade Rafael Devers and see what offers come up. And you could have said, the only caveat is you need to take the entire contract of Rafael Devers. And yeah, that would push some teams away, but you might still get a decent haul. And the Red Sox still got a decent haul with a bunch of young players coming in, because a lot of them are like in their early 20s, especially Kyle Harrison. He's 22. He is 22 years old, so plenty of time, and he has years of control. So I like it in that aspect. However, at the same time, you gotta manage these trades a lot better. You gotta manage trade negotiations a lot better. So, what are my full thoughts on this? I don't know. I'm hurt that Rafael Devers is gone. I am hurt. But at the same time, if the relationship was that broken, and that this marriage with the Red Sox and Rafael Devers was beyond repair, I get it. This is so a lot of people are comparing this to the Mookie Betts trade. I don't think that's the case here, because in terms of shock value, the Mookie trade was expected. We expected Mookie to be traded because they couldn't agree on a deal. And yes, that's still the fault of management, because they didn't want to give him X amount of money, and Mookie wanted that X amount of money. So it was expected. With Devers, none of this was expected. We knew the relationship was fractured, but we thought it could still be repaired at least. And Devers, after the win against the Yankees earlier today, after their 5th win in a row, said, we feel like we're starting to have a groove. We're starting to get a feel for it. We're going to go on this big run. You watch. He gets traded like 2 hours later. 2 hours later, he gets traded. And apparently in the locker room, everybody loves Rafi. So if that's the case, what does that do to the morale of your locker room? Just the way people feel about you, and their fear of going against management. Because if your star player comes out and says, I don't want to do this, this is where I feel like I belong, or you told me to do that, any denial from what management asks you to do, and you want to be here, may result in you getting traded. That is going to be the fear of some players. Now, that might not be the case for somebody like Roman Anthony or Marcelo Meyer or Christian Campbell, because you need those guys. That is going to be your new core, because we're pushing all the cards on these young guys. So, but for the majority, what's to say if you turn down what the Red Sox asked you to do, you might be next. And they're going to shop you for way less, too. Because, I mean, they're just going to toss you for cash considerations, most likely. Maybe even a low-round draft pick. Yeah, I think like a 10th rounder, maybe. I mean, that is possible, I think. I don't think that's beyond the Red Sox, abilities. I think the Red Sox are definitely capable of doing something like that. Now, my final thought before I leave you for today, and I might come back a week later and get my thoughts on it later, but I'm gonna have to wait and see. I'm really not sure. I'm just going for it. I was like, should I record? Should I not? But I decided, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it. Uncut. I think this comparison in a management perspective is similar to what the Patriots did with Mac Jones. Now, as far as like talent and results of that talent, I think there's a major difference. But as far as handling it is very similar to where both parties are at fault for what has occurred. Because with Mac Jones, with Mac Jones and the Patriots, he did nothing. Mac Jones did nothing to help out the organization. And I feel like that Devers did the same thing here, where he did nothing to benefit from the team by trying to be versatile and being a team player. And now with Mac Jones, and with the management, with Mac Jones, you don't have that. You had a new offensive coordinator every year, and you still have done this. But now you're back to the guy in Josh McDaniels. So I'm kind of giving him a breather on that because I do think that is the case here. Is that now you have your offensive coordinator, you're not going to switch out after one season. So I think Drake May's going to be fine there. But in terms of management, didn't necessarily help Rafael Devers either. They weren't very subtle with them wanting to be flexible, you know? They just kind of took it as, oh, yeah, it's either our way or the highway is what I would say that the Red Sox were doing with Rafael Devers. So, in conclusion, poor management from the Red Sox and Devers' lack of willingness to be a team player has led to this. Should it have gotten this far, this quick? I don't think so. And I think that's a fault on both parties. Both parties could have handled this so much better than it already has. So, at the end of the day, what I do think is going to happen is that for the rest of the season, they're going to roll with what they got. They might go into this trade deadline and might try to shoot for somebody, to try to trade for somebody. If not, then I think they're going to use that money to not only extend Marcelo Meyer, Roman Anthony, but you're also going to look into free agency and see what are you going to do to repair this fractured relationship that you have just created with your fans. And I mean, it's been tense for a while, but now you've traded Rafael Devers, and now the consensus of the fan base is, we hate you now. We don't like you anymore. And I would not be surprised by the next home game, which will be, I think, a couple of weeks from now, because I'm just heading to the West Coast. If we heard Sell the Team chants the very first game, I would not be surprised if that happened. And I'm expecting it. And that is the fault of management. That is management's fault for it getting to this level, because you've done nothing to help this Red Sox team go back to their winning ways and go back to be a championship contender, which is what Boston expects and wants. And if you're not willing to do that, we don't want you here. Alright? So, if you heard me rambling on about stuff that doesn't make sense, I get it. I literally went uncensored, uncut. I put no thought into this. I just wanted to do it just for the sake of doing it. And I hope that the Red Sox management Craig Breslow, Sam Kennedy, John Henry, and anybody else that is involved with the Fenway Sports Group. I know Theo Epstein's a part of that, so I hope they listen to him eventually, because I know he's a good baseball guy. I hope they can repair this relationship that has now been fractured. And if they find a way to repair it, fantastic. But they're going to have a lot to do to repair that connection with the fan base. If you can't do that, then selling the team is going to be the best thing for you to do. That's all for me. My name's Brian, and we'll see where this goes. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.